Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you here in June. I very welcome my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. It's Monday already. If you're feeling charitable, please smash the subscribe button and the like button, and please follow me on the best Twitter account, the best Twitter platform ever, at Movies TV Mad, because I say it how I see it, and I say it how it is, and there's very few people doing that these days. Welcome to Monday's edition of the dceu Daily. I have got the exclusive of all exclusives for you today here on Big Mouth. On Monday's edition of the dceu Daily, Netflix wanted to buy the Snyder Cut. They wanted to stream it on their platform, and I can go deeper than that. That's a rumour. Take it with a pinch of salt. As usual, two sources have brought this to me. I know another YouTube channel's been going with this. Can't remember their names. Sorry about that. I do like to kind of reflect where these things are coming from, but I just can't remember the YouTube channel. And after all that, Patty Jenkins is saying that she doesn't want the DCEU to go in the same direction of the MCU, and she's more favourable towards self-contained movies. But I will give you my opinion on that. You know my opinion on that. I'm going to give it to you again. But first of all, let's talk about this yummy. I've got something in my tummy. Exclusive. Netflix wanted to buy the Snyder Cut. They wanted to stream the Snyder Cut. They directly contacted Zack Snyder and made very interesting noises about doing this deal. But not just that. I have it on good authority, again, take it with a pinch of salt, that Netflix still want to buy the Snyder Cut. They still want to stream it. Now, of course, if they did do this, Warner Brothers would still be making a lot of green out of this. But this doesn't make Warner Brothers look very good. This puts Warner Brothers in a very uncomfortable situation. This all kicked off November the 17th when Gal tweeted release the Snyder Cut, when Ben tweeted release the Snyder Cut, right? This is when Netflix realised this would have been a great film to have on their platform. This, of course, was the reason that Warner Brothers started to talk to Zack Snyder. They were all of a sudden in a very, very uncomfortable position from denying this, from so many people not believing that this film even existed. Netflix were interested. They were already negotiating with Zack Snyder to do Army of the Dead and other projects that Zack's got planned with them as well. He's very well embedded with Netflix now. So they directly started talking to him about the Snyder Cut. Of course, both elements knew, both Zack and both Netflix knew that they can't do the deal between themselves. The DC characters, the Justice League copyright, everything, right, is owned by Warner Brothers. So unless Warner Brothers agree to this, this is never going to happen. And of course, this is very, very interesting revelations. Again, pinch of salt time, but what could this mean? This means right now, this is good for our movement. This is good for our goal. Because this means Warner Brothers are under pressure. They are going to have no choice but to stream this on HBO Max. Of course, it shouldn't have come to this. It's obvious that this thing has become a legend, an icon, something that geek says to nerd and nerd talks to geek about, whether they hate Zack, whether they hate the DCEU that Zack was involved in or not. People are talking about this film. Everyone's wondering, is this film so different? Of course it is. We know, because we've spoken to Zack. We're part of the Vero platform. We know, we trust Zack. Zack was doing something special. Kevin Smith himself has seen drawings by Jim Lee. Jim Lee, the comic book artist legend, was doing designs of Green Lantern, the Kong, the planet OR, right? Or however you pronounce it. Martian Manhunter, right? All of these things were happening. These were going to be in Zack Snyder's Justice League, right? Because Netflix are intelligent people and good business people, and they put the customer first instead of doing DNA tests, to see who they're going to bring into their platform. They talk to talent. They want talent on their platform. And they wanted the Snyder Cut. And they are still chomping at the bit to get this cut. Now, of course, Warner Brothers are not going to allow this. Let's be realistic. And the only way they can stop it now and stop this pressure coming at them, because this is really, really uncomfortable. It's even uncomfortable for them, for people like me, to be talking about it. And by later today, when America wakes up, everyone's going to be talking about the fact that Netflix wanted to buy the Snyder Cut, wanted to stream the Snyder Cut. This would have been amazing, because Netflix are now an international global platform. HBO Max are not going to be an international platform. But a little revelation has come out that YouTube have signed some kind of deal with Warner Brothers and HBO Max. And Chris Wong-Svensson from Ping Pong Flicks, that awesome guy, yeah, actually tweeted something about this. I'm gonna look for it after I finish talking about this. We'll pause the video and I'll have a look for it. But basically, at this moment in time, HBO Max, as far as I know, is just going to be streaming in America, maybe for 12 months, maybe for 18 months. Who knows? They're not going to push a global, they're not going to make it a global streaming service as fast as Disney are, because Disney are smarter. Disney pushed the envelope forward, whatever we think of them, right? So a massive revelation, a massive exclusive. And yes, I can tell you at least two of my sources have confirmed that Netflix wanted to buy and stream the Snyder Cut. This would have been amazing. This would have been amazing. By now we would have seen it. Zack would have been allowed. Netflix wanted to partly fund the reshoots as well. That's another revelation that no one's been talking about. So as I say, absolutely a massive revelations. And all this does is put Warner Brothers in a position now where they have to release the Snyder Cut. Before we go to the Patty Jenkins article, I'm going to read you something official from Warner Media. This is the deal that they've struck with YouTube. So, Warner Media and YouTube TV Let's start again. Warner Media and YouTube TV announced comprehensive distribution agreement. Right. New deal expands relationship to include HBO and Cinemax for the first time and HBO Max at launch. So let's read what this is about. February the 20th, 2020, Warner Media, division of AT&T Inc. and YouTube TV announced today a comprehensive... This is quite an old announcement, isn't it? Anyway, let's talk about it. A comprehensive distribution relationship that will deliver the media company's entertainment, sports and news network portfolio to YouTube TV members. The pact expands upon existing carriage agreements between the two companies for Warner Media Networks, TBS, TNT, True TV, CNN, HLN, Turner Music, and Movies Adult Swim, Cartoon Network to add access to the HBO and Cinemax services to the YouTube TV for the first time as part of a new deal. YouTube TV has also committed to distributing Warner Media's upcoming HBO Max streaming platform when it launches this spring. Now, what we're interested in, us lot who don't live in America, does this mean we'll be able to watch this on the Premiere? YouTube have got, is it the Premiere? I pay for the premium. That's it, YouTube Premium. Will this be available to the international global YouTube Premium service? Very interesting. As consumers, media consumption habits continue to evolve and the landscape becomes more and more dynamic, our goal remains constant, and that is to make the portfolio of Warner Media Networks available as widely as possible, said Rich Warren, president of Warner Media Distribution. YouTube has been a valued partner for a number of years, and we're pleased to not only extend our existing agreement, but also make HBO and Cinemax and soon HBO Max available to YouTube TV customers for the first time. Our commitment at YouTube TV is to deliver TV to our members how and when they want it, said Laurie Conklin, Global Head of Partnerships at YouTube TV. We are thrilled to continue our partnership with Warner Media to deliver their family of networks that are popular among our members, as well as introduce HBO Cinemax and HBO Max to our growing line up of premium content. Yes, so I'm actually subscribed to that. I don't really use it, But hey, I think I'm going to be using it now. Wow, glad I didn't cancel that subscription. Both linear and on-demand HBO and Cinemax content will debut on YouTube TV this spring, providing instant access to the service's customers for the first time, including will be HBO's extensive array of programming, which features iconic and award-winning titles such as Watchmen, Big Little Lies, and Last Week Tonight, with John Oliver, current and returning hit drama Succession, Westworld, and The Outsider, comedy series Barry, Insecure, and Curb Your Enthusiasm, and classic favourites like Game of Thrones, The Sopranos, The Wire, and Sex in the City. Upcoming HBO releases this spring include returning favourites High Maintenance and My Brilliant Friend, and upcoming limited series The Plot Against America. Undoing, and I know this much is true, Cinemax will offer its slate of the original series, including Strike Back, which recently began its 7th season, along with Trackers and Gangs of London. Theatrical hits debuting on the network this spring include Boy Array's First Man and Bad Times at the E Royale. Warner Media's TBS, TNT, True TV, CNN, HLN, Turner Classic Movies, Adult Swim, and Cartoon Network have been available to YouTube TV customers since 2018. You see, I didn't know any of this. And will continue to be available on the service. I suspect this is if you live in America. HBO Max, the company's upcoming direct-to-consumer offering debuting May 2020 with 10,000 hours of curated content, will also be available to YouTube TV customers at launch. HBO Max will offer programming for everyone in the home bundling the entire HBO service, a robust slate of new original series, key third-party licensed programs and movies, and fan favourites from across Warner Media's rich library. YouTube TV is a subscription streaming service that lets you watch live on-demand TV from 70 plus top networks through a simple and award-winning experience. It offers live and local sports, news shows, movies, and more, and can be watched on any screen, phone, tablet, TV, computer. Membership comes with free unlimited cloud DVR storage space to record all your favourites personalised. Watch recommendations and a family plan with 6 accounts per household, so the whole family can enjoy it. Wow. So, really, I don't know. The only thing, this is massive. This is great for YouTube, by the way, and good for Warner Media and Warner Brothers. But is this going to be available to people like me outside of America? People like you outside of America? This is the interesting question. It's something I simply do not know. Now, what's interesting about Chris Wong Svensson's tweet, when he did this, when he quote tweeted this, for my international friends, do you all have access to YouTube TV? This would kind of hint to Chris knowing that, in fact, we will be able to watch this on YouTube globally, internationally. I hope this is true. Of course, Chris isn't an authority on anything, but it's very interesting. He's from Hawaii, so it's not America. It's close to America. You know what I mean. Anyway, it looks like, because of this, we will be able to stream HBO Max via YouTube TV. Subscribe to YouTube Premium. As I say, I subscribed to this a long time ago and I'm barely using it. As I said before, I'll be using it now. This is great news. Really excited. So here we are. Wonder Woman 1984 director Patty Jenkins doesn't want DC to copy Marvel Studios. Right, let's have a look at this. Wonder Woman 84 director Patty Jenkins recently revealed that she doesn't want to see DC films follow Marvel Studios' cinematic universe model. Warner Brothers and DC have tried to emulate Marvel Studios' success with a cinematic universe, but haven't reached the same results. On the flip side, DC has had far more success recently with films that are more standalone, like Joker, Aquaman. Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman as movies more farther away from the Zack Snyder era, even though it was Zack who employed Patty and Gal. Never mind, we'll carry on. The future of the DC Extended Universe remains uncertain, with the Batman, the Suicide Squad, and Wonder Woman 84, which don't seem to be concerned with making connections. The future of the DCEU is very secure, whether it's standalone or shared. Shared? I'm just not getting the words out today. Or shared. The future is guaranteed. It's not going anywhere, so that's bullshit. In Total Film Magazine's latest issue, Wonder Woman 84 director Patty Jenkins talked about why it's sometimes better for comic book movies to be more self-contained. Here's Patty. I love that about it. To me, that's what superhero movies, period, always were. I think the exception to that was that Marvel had such success doing a shared universe. But that certainly shouldn't be the status quo. And I think you should look at comic books. There's this huge variety of comic books, and their look and tone and world are radically different. And they don't always inevitably join together. Sometimes they do, and that's really fun, and that's that thing. But a lot of times they have their own run. I'm psyched that DC and frankly Marvel's actually doing it a little bit more now too, with some of the tone of Thor Ragnarok and Black Widow and Doctor Strange. They feel very different in tone. Yes, but Patty, the MCU and those films are still part of the shared universe. There's rumours that Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark's going to be in Black Widow. So what are you talking about? But I love that about DC, and I've always thought that's a wonderful thing about DC. They were all so different. Well, right, let's unpackage this. Basically, there shouldn't be an either-or situation. DC movies can be standalone. A couple of them can be standalone. And then we get back to the kind of continuity, the shared universe, right? Why does it have to be one thing or the other, Patty? That's what I don't understand. Wonder Woman 84 is kind of contained, self-contained, but it's kind of not as well. I can't give away too much about that film. I've seen the test screening, right? That's not the cut they're going to release, I can assure you of that. So I'm blind to what's actually going to happen to this film, really, within the narrative, like you are. But the fact is, the best shared comic book universe, the best film franchise you can have, ever, is films like The Joker that are self-contained, films like Wonder Woman 84 that are kind of self-contained, Aquaman that still mentions Steppenwolf, right? But you can have shared movies in a shared universe, and sometimes you have those self-contained stories. Doctor Who, when it was good, right, did it best. Russell T Davies used to have the one-word arcs, but mainly his stories were self-contained. But when you get to the end of the season, whoom, it's that arc. Stephen Moffat had a very big arc throughout his seasons, and they would reference that in some episodes, and some episodes would be self-contained. This is what the DCEU need to do. If you want to do self-contained movies, great. But once every movie is self-contained, you take an element of the excitement away from the platform, away from the franchise. This is my problem with current people who analyse films, who make films. They seem to have, it's this way, it's that way. Do you remember after The Dark Knight? All films should be dark. Do you remember after the first Avengers? All films should be like Avengers. Bright, fun, funny, action-packed. Yeah? Like the comics. It's always one way or the other. But if the DCEU was actually a franchise that had some self-contained movies and some movies that had crossovers, that's a better franchise. And by the way, I think this is exactly the direction Walter Hamada is taking the DCEU. I've already confirmed to you that Cyborg, aka Ray Fisher, will be a big part of the Flashpoint movie starring Ezra Miller, directed by Andy Muschietti. You can take that to the bank. So whatever Patty says here, the truth of the matter is we're going to have self-contained movies and movies that feature other Justice League characters in other characters' movies. That's the best way to go. Comment down below, like, share and subscribe, and I want to know down in the comments, would you watch Zack Snyder's Justice League on Netflix? Dumb question. Of course you would. Like, share and subscribe. Comment down below. I'll be back tomorrow with even more DCEU Daily. See you again soon.